Hey everybody, it's another beautiful day out here today. It's so many great things happening. And I'm glad that you guys are here to join me. We're doing Give It to the People live. And this is our podcast where what we do is we do it live so that people can see it. And then we also have an audio version of it. And every week what we do is we bring on amazing people who are doing all kinds of things in entrepreneurship. We focus on BIPOC entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs. And today I have somebody that is awesome sauce. And I was like, look, you definitely need to be on. So he just happened to also be one of our speakers for our summit that we just did. And so, one of the things about me is that I find interesting people. When I met him, he was talking about his app and he was talking about the things that he does. And I was like, oh, well, I need to interview you, right? Because you know how we're about self-care. And so his app definitely does that and helps you to get in your mental space that you need to be in. So welcome, 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 Dante Wade. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Chisa. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so first of all, talk about what even your background is before you started to create this app.
Absolutely. So I'm a graduate of Lincoln University at HBCU out in Pennsylvania. I have a degree in business management, graduated class of 2017. And majority of my professional experience has actually been in business development operations, and I'm a certified Scrum Master as well. And it's interesting because my focus has been on the workforce development industry.
Mhm.
In that industry, I noticed how mental health and wellness just plays a role in your overall success, not only your professional success.
Yeah, I mean, and it's an important thing. And so, like, we've been talking with some workforce development people, and I think that one of the biggest things is people get discouraged
Mhm.
because, and what I've seen specifically on LinkedIn, people are like, look, I've been putting out applications for months. Will somebody hire me? What do I need to do different now? And so, just the actual anxiety that is there from job hunting is really different when you have a job and you're looking for something else. But when you don't have one and you're still trying to get into that. I think that mental health is definitely something that's necessary because the tenacity needed to just keep looking is a big factor. Okay. And so then what made you pivot into creating the Reju app?
So it's actually interesting. So I went on my I guess I'll call it an emotional awareness journey. Um
Mm,
and around spring of 2018. I was a year removed from college. I was working, but I wasn't working in my industry yet. I was still,
mhm,
I had some part-time jobs. I was just navigating life. And coming out of college, I did really well in college. So when you come out of college, you have high expectations and hopes for yourself. But the post grad blues were really hitting me hard.
mhm,
And it took me on a journey of really thinking through, all right, this is bothering me, but what else is bothering me? What are some underlying issues to why I think the way I think? Why am I getting discouraged in this situation? So the first thing I did was I deleted all of my social media. Um, and I
mm,
did that in March of 2018. And I started reading, I started journaling, and I
mhm,
just started really uncovering what I really want in life. And one of the
mhm,
goals that I set was I want to have a mobile app.
mhm.
It's interesting because I didn't know what the app was going to be, but I said I want to have a mobile app.
Okay.
In the process of being on this journey in my reading, I started sending out like inspirational messages every week to a group of my frat brothers. Every
Mhm,
Monday, I would send out a inspirational message. And in November, I got back on social media and I started posting inspirational messages every week. I would have a Monday motivation clip
mhm.
ranging from like 1 minute to like a minute and a half. And about a month later, one of my good friends and co-founders gave me a call and said, listen, I'm looking to start an app. I want it to be about health and wellness. I see that you're already in the space and this
Mhm.
that you're interested in. So I would love to have you on the team. And the
Mhm.
rest is history. We started working from there. From that day on, I said I'm in, and we started working from there.
Now, did he know that you wanted to start an app?
No,
Okay, so this was just like the stars aligned and the heavens opened up kind of thing.
precisely.
Wow. Okay, and so then basically he was like, "Look, you're already doing this part, so let's go ahead and put it together." What is that like as far as the teamwork portion? Because a lot of people say, "Okay, well, I want to do some things,"
Mhm.
and then they know that they probably are not good at a certain thing, and so they need somebody else to kind of come in. But it is difficult oftentimes to find partners that can put something together and that's sustainable. So, how's that process been for you?
That's a really good question because when I initially wrote down that I wanted to have an app, my main concern was I'm not a coder. I didn't go to
Okay.
school for IT. I'm not a software engineer, so that's not my background. But I have a team where I have coders on my team, I have people who do marketing, people who we have some lawyers on the team as well, people who are actually certified in health and wellness. While my main role has been from a project management operation standpoint to make sure
Mm-hmm.
that the machine is still turning.
Mm-hmm.
So in finding these team members, it's actually been an interesting journey because you want to find people that are aligned with the end goal that you're looking to get. Because as you very well know, when you're starting off a business, sometimes you can't pay people in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
able to give them any benefits or provide anything but that vision and that end goal. So, in finding a team of people who may be strong in areas that you're not strong in, you also have to find people that can see that vision just like you have it.
Yeah, and I mean it does make a huge difference, and so I'm glad that you were able to even, find people that definitely align with your vision because sometimes people want to take it and they want to distort it or they want to make it kind of what they want to. And I think that when you're new, especially when you're working together new, things are going to change. It's going to go up, it's going to go down, and how have you been able to kind of navigate the world because the presentation that you just gave on Saturday was teaching other people like how to build an app. What would you say like in your navigating this have been maybe like some of the things that you did wrong and then tell me what you did right.
That's an excellent question. So, some of the things we did wrong.
You don't have to give me a whole bunch, just one. We
Now,
don't want people to get discouraged.
I'm not going to give a whole bunch. I'm just trying to pick one that will be impactful.
Okay.
Um, One thing I would say that we may have done wrong is we were very hesitant to go to market with our MVP because
Hmm.
we wanted it to be perfect. We wanted it to hit every mark that we wanted to reach. Now, naturally, I'm one of those people that just I want to go full steam ahead. If we do it, let's do it. Let's break it. Let's fix it. Let's just figure it out as we go
Mhm.
along. But as you know, with your business is your baby. So it's like I don't want to bring this out to the world just yet because we may not have everything all together.
Uh-huh.
So that was one area. And I'd say another mistake we made was initially we knew when we launched our MVP that we were going to have to scale. We were going to have to redo something and come out with another version of it.
Mhm.
I think going back, if I knew then what I knew now, I would have focused on putting our funds towards the development as opposed to some of the other areas that we put funds in.
Mhm.
Now, it was hit or miss. Some of those things worked really well for us. Some of those things didn't work out so well. But I would say really doubling down on the development and the scaling of the product itself is
Okay.
something I would have focused on.
Okay, I like that. And I mean, sometimes if you've never done it, you really don't know that you need to do something slightly different, but you just being able to give that experience to other people can maybe help them, get through it a little bit faster. So, what did you do right? So, tell them about Reju, what it actually is. And then, it's up, it's running now. This is your business baby. Just give them a little bit of feedback on what Reju is and what made you actually decide to go into this area.
Absolutely. So, Reju is a mental health and holistic wellness mobile application that serves as a personal guide to mental, physical, and emotional success. We do so through a specific set of algorithms and inputs and outputs that give a tailored and customized experience to mental health and wellness. And we have a myriad of features ranging from a Reju of the day, which is an inspirational message that gets sent directly to your phone. We also have guided meditations, video publications, and in our next iteration of the app that's going to be coming out this summer, we're going to be able to connect people with mental health practitioners, therapists, and other wellness experts within the field as well.
Yes, yes, yes. And I really love that because I think that there are pieces all over, right? But then when you can combine that, like I think that'll be something that'll be even more powerful for you. So, what has been some of the feedback that you've been getting from the people that have been on the app so far?
Absolutely. So the current version that's in the iOS App Store and the Google Play Store, that's our first version of the
Okay.
app. So that includes all of the features I mentioned, except being able to connect with wellness practitioners and experts. Now, the feedback that we've been getting is it's really interesting. A lot of people are interested in the guided meditations, which is
Mm-hmm.
actually that became my favorite feature in the app. But it was interesting to me because a lot of people don't know how to meditate,
Mm-hmm.
and it is I'm not going to say it's easy, but once you know how to do it, you know how to do it for life.
Mm-hmm.
So a large portion of the feedback was a lot of people saying, I really feel these guided meditations. I started in the morning. I do one in the evening before I go to bed, even personally. So this is a sidebar, Chisa.
Uh-huh.
We launched the app in February of 2020.
Okay.
March of 2020 is when COVID really started ramping up.
Yep. Around the
So,
13th. Mm-hmm.
yeah, so just imagine launching a new business in the midst of a pandemic. But during that time, that's when I started really liking the guided meditations because of the anxiety that the pandemic and the uncertainty brought upon me. I was doing the guided meditations every morning and every night before I went to sleep. So I
Mm-hmm.
started noticing that, all right, I'm validating my own product,
Mm-hmm.
which was really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Another
Yeah.
piece of feedback that I would say a lot of people offered was they really like the inspirational messages just daily coming in the morning. And it's really just short 1 to 2 sentence blurbs, but people appreciate that small pick me up in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of like I think once you get used to something, you feel like, okay, this will help your day out. And because you don't know what the next one is going to be, it's like, okay, well, let me click in here and try to see what the new thing is of today. And I found that just even when it kind of comes to some of the things that you put out content wise, people really start to continually look for it and make it a ritual, which for you keeps people on the app, for sure. So when you're looking at just this health tech space
Mhm.
as a whole kind of conglomerate, where do you guys see like yourselves going like in the future of this? Because sometimes things are very fast, especially when it's in the tech side of things. But then
Absolutely.
sometimes they just need to kind of take their course so that this way you can kind of see those iterations that you're putting out. So what's the future look like for you guys?
Absolutely. So when I think through the future of Reju, the main phrase that comes to mind is all encompassing and ease of use. And
Mm-hmm.
the reason I'll start backwards. So the reason I say ease of use is because when we think about the mental health and wellness space, especially within the Black and Brown community, it's been a taboo topic for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not something where traditionally we'll go to the dinner table and say, "Hey, I'm in therapy right now," or "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm feeling depressed or anxious about something." Because oftentimes, one, we're afraid of judgment, and two, a lot of our family members don't know how to handle when somebody comes to them with these type of issues. So the reason I say ease of use is because just as you download an Instagram or a Twitter and you pretty much figure out within the first 5 minutes how to navigate this app and utilize it. That's what we want for Reju as well, but from a wellness space. So it's easy to go in and see how you could incorporate this into your day
Mm-hmm.
and make it better. And the second aspect, which is all encompassing. When I say all encompassing, I'm thinking through. So we base our product off of the 8 pillars of wellness, and
Mm-hmm.
that's ranging all the way from mental and emotional to financial and sleep wellness as well.
Mm-hmm.
So within all of those pillars of wellness, we want to have Reju. And I mentioned earlier that we're connecting people to therapists, practitioners, and other experts in the wellness space. But traditionally, we just think about therapy. What about nutritionists? Physical
Mm-hmm.
trainers, sex therapists, even people within multiple spaces within the wellness field. And the reason that we wanted to be all encompassing is because we wanted to be a one-stop shop when it comes to connecting with a wellness professional or getting the boost for your day or even the tip for how to go about navigating life. We want Reju
Mm-hmm.
to be that total solution. So that's what the future looks like for us.
No, I mean, I like it because, a lot of times when we hear mental health, we just have this one narrow view of what that is. And, when you look at the overall well-roundedness of a person, they go through so many different things like we do in a day.
Oh yeah.
And so what we needed this morning might not be what we need this afternoon and what we need tonight. And, just going through therapy myself, I can attest to the fact that, I think especially if you have anxiety, you can kind of feel if it's coming on, right? Like
Oh
you
yeah.
can feel that you're in a situation that's like, you know what, this is a triggering kind of thing. But I
Yeah.
think you have to kind of learn that. And so being able to have it in an app where it's non-judgmental, right? Because nobody, I mean, you're seeing the people on the app, but it's not the same thing as your friends or your family, but you're
Yep.
getting that feedback. I mean, I think that that can be a wonderful space. Now, you mentioned, kind of the Black and brown community and kind of the taboo and the stigma with even talking about mental health.
Mhm.
What has your response been as far as being a Black man that is putting out this app that is specifically for this type of community? Because, it seems like when people do certain things and there's other communities, it's just easily accepted, right? And it
Yeah.
just skyrockets the next day. And it's always so interesting to me. But sometimes do you feel like maybe you have to get people to buy into what you're putting out? Like what's that response been as far as getting the users to use it?
Yeah. So that's a layered question. So
Uh-huh.
in regards to getting people to buy in, so one thing that was interesting about this process is I'm not a therapist by trade. I don't have a degree in psychology, and neither do my co-founders. We noticed a problem and came up with a solution. But
Mhm.
a lot of people, they may be a little skeptical because they're like, oh, you don't have this type of degree or you don't have this background or this type of profession. But the way we've been able to navigate around that is we live a human experience just like everybody else does. And that's why we're very, very intentional about saying holistic wellness as well.
Mhm.
Now, we do have therapists, psychologists, practitioners within our ecosystem, and they serve as advisors to us. They guide us, they vet our content to make sure everything is actually proper for the users. But from our standpoint, we come from a holistic place because one, we all live a human experience. We can all find ways to provide, a better lifestyle, better choices and wellness, and incorporating that into our lives. And tying back into the ease of use, I think it's actually kind of good that we don't come from that space because we can meet people where they are and deliver this information and content in a very relatable and understandable way.
Mhm.
Um, Now, buy-in from like an investor or a corporate standpoint, that's a whole nother side of the coin because as I'm sure you very well know, as a black or brown business owner, we get severely underfunded when it comes to the VC space. Less than 2% of black founders actually get any type of investment dollars for their
Mhm.
business. So that's been another battle that we've been looking to fight. And for a large portion of our journey, we bootstrapped these funds. We went into our savings accounts. We really put money aside because we really believe in what we're doing. And 2023 has been our best year yet. And we're finally getting our legs under us and starting to run and getting
Mhm.
to a point where we're like, well, whether you want to invest or not, we believe in our mission. Our mission is working. So we're going to double down, triple down, and do what we got to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I'm glad you answered it that way. And I kind of did ask the question in a way that it was layered because, buy-in, depending on how you look at it, could be like, can you just download my app?
Mhm.
Like, it's kind of like, and I'm not trying to, always try to like, make sure my words are right there. But I tell people, not in a disrespectful way, but it's kind of like buy my mixtape, like, so
Yeah.
if you really got to be like, listen, all you need to do is go on your phone, and I'm just gonna let I have the app, right? Go on the phone, okay, download the app, and then actually use it. But just to get a person to download, that's like a stretch sometimes, and people don't want to do those things. But then when they see how helpful it can be, then they can use it, and then hopefully also share it with other people. And I think that that's an important factor because a lot of times people want to hoard resources,
Oh
and it's
yeah.
like, if it's doing great for you, why don't you tell somebody else about it? So we just have to get into a situation where the buy-in has to be, maybe you should support it because it's me, maybe you should support it because it's black owned, maybe you should support it because of, and then you have to kind of give people so many reasons as to why they should support something. But as far as the VC space goes, have you guys been seeking any like VC funding or done any kind of fundraising in order to raise awareness about the product from a money standpoint?
Yeah, we have. We've had a pre-seed funding round. We've had early seed funding rounds, and we've pitched hundreds of times.
Okay.
And when I say hundreds of times, we've got hundreds of no's too.
Okay.
Um, we've gotten to a point now where we got some pre-seed investing, a pre-seed investment for this year, looking to raise more capital. But it's funny you asked that question. We're
Mhm.
actually not as much prioritizing the investment side as we are building B2B clientele, applying for government grant funding, so things of that nature as well. And part of that is because, with investment dollars comes everybody wanting equity
A
within.
piece.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, equity within
Mhm.
the organization, which isn't a bad thing, but we've came so far with the little resources that we have, where it's like, well, let's see if we can go a little bit further before we start negotiating or divvying up pieces of the pie.
Yeah, I mean, because you have to put in that work at first, because the investor's not going to want to come and invest in something that they don't see this making money. So, that's really their goal, is to get their money back as soon as possible. And so it's funny because prior to this, we were just having a conversation, my husband and I, about, okay, so it's either you're going to spend the money on this or you're going to spend the time.
Yep.
And so which one is more valuable to you at this point in time? And, for me, I'm just like, spend the money, but I'm always like that, and he's just like, he's like, look at the time. And I'm just like, time is still money. So what is your level of convenience? Like, how do you want things to work out for you? And I think a lot of times, we might take these apps for granted, because it's kind of like, you kind of look at it just like with the podcasting. Well, everybody's got a podcast, but they really don't. Right? Everybody doesn't have a podcast. Everybody doesn't have an app, And so I am personally like invested in the idea and the concept of it, because this is something that I've wanted to do. So, I'm just like, wow, doing not the same thing, but even getting to the point of having an app. So when you start to look at what you're doing right, you already have something, right? And you're starting from somewhere and then being able to help and impact people. Now, growing this, what do you want? Like, if you said this is your ultimate goal, like, do you want to sell it to somebody, or do you just want to be like the number one platform? Like, what if you just had your perfect vision of this is what Reju is going to be for people? What would that be?
Perfect. So before I answer that, I want to respond to a point that you made, because it's really important. And the point you made of, we already have an app that's out there. Sometimes we always have to remind ourselves as co-founders, as a team, that we've came really far. And we're not where we were last year. We're not where we were the year before. And, we've continued to make progress. And I think in life, sometimes we just always don't highlight how far we've really come, because we didn't get to that mountaintop, that destination that we want to get to yet. But it's been beauty in the journey. So I appreciate you making that point, because that's important, and I want people to recognize that as well. But to answer your question of where we want Reju to go, $1 billion company, $1 billion brand.
Come on.
Yeah, nothing short of that. And the reason that I say that so quickly is because we fully believe that we have the smarts, the resources, the stick to itness, the grit to make it happen, just like any other organization out there. So we want to be $1 billion brand.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. And I mean, I could see so many products coming from it. And, like, one of the things that I like, and not necessarily as a comparison, but I mean, it's already out there. It's like the Calm app. And so when I look at that, I have watched Calm on Netflix. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I could see this being something where that's the next Netflix special, right? And so sometimes just having one piece, that opens the door to all of the other pieces that could come. And you don't even know who wants to give you some money, but somebody else does. Somebody wants to give some money, right? Somebody wants to be a part of it. And you just at least having the platform and the infrastructure to be able to pull people in. I mean, that's where it has to start. And I think when you talked about the MVP, for anybody who doesn't know that, that's that minimal viable product. What's the minimum that you need to get to the next part? But some people don't have the MVP, and so you having a structure, and then getting feedback. And then how do you take, like, once a person says that they like something, how does that affect how you adjust what goes on in the app, or things that you may add into it?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So in regards to responding to feedback, if we get enough people to say that they like something or this is impactful, we think through, all right, how could we either continue to do exactly what we're doing, or not only do what we're doing, but expound upon it, double down on it, allocate more resources towards this specific piece of content or this specific feature. So it's a matter of, one, making sure that we hold ourselves accountable to what our users are responding to in a positive way. But then on the flip side, we have to think through, all right, what if we get negative responses or negative feedback to certain aspects of the app, which, I've learned to welcome over the years. Initially, because I mentioned earlier, your business is your baby. So when you get that negative feedback, it hurts your heart a little bit at
first. Little bit. Yep. And then you got to pick yourself back up.
Yeah, you got to pick yourself back up. But I appreciate that feedback just as much as the positive feedback as well, because if you hear it one time, there may be some truth and validity to it, but I generally say let's stick to the plan if you hear it one time. But if it becomes a reoccurring issue or a reoccurring thing, now it's time for us to go to the drawing board and scrap this idea. And
Mm-hmm.
to give you an example of that, so we started development for our MVP in January of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
By July 2019, we scrapped our entire idea and started from the beginning.
Oh, okay.
And that was after one session of beta testing and feedback.
Oh,
And I say that to say it wasn't a bad session. We didn't get like tomatoes thrown at us or anything, but we had to take a step back and think through what could be scalable, what could be doable, and what's the most impactful. And
yeah.
because of that, we started our idea right from the beginning.
Okay, okay. But that's good. And I mean, being able to kind of look at that, the surveys, the focus groups, all of that definitely gives you that, again, that feedback that you need. And you were able to then take that and then turn that into a different product, which, makes more sense to me. Now, if people said, well, listen, I love this app, and, you may have somebody that's out there that's like, I would love to be a part of it. I would love to work with you guys. Are you looking for people to be a part of your platform to provide additional content?
Absolutely. So we're always looking at potential content creators, looking at technical people who may be interested in joining a project. And I would say above all else right now, looking at people who are in the health and wellness space. And that doesn't just have to be a therapist or a psychiatrist, but total health and wellness who may be
Mhm.
interested in getting more clientele or being connected to a new market. We're looking for them right now because we have profiles that can host them within the app and they can
Mhm.
have an entire marketplace within Reju. So that's our high level who we're promoting to and saying, come join us. We'd love to have you right now.
Yeah, and I mean, so if a person doesn't have like an existing website or something where they're able to monetize, or even if they do, they could still work within the constraints of Reju and then build a different clientele because, what they may have that's existing, the people on there may not know them, and so now they get another avenue to be able to kind of showcase their skill set and, also help build your platform simultaneously. So I think that that's a good thing. Now, one thing I like to do whenever we do these is I always like to ask people to, just really kind of leave people with some type of positive word, a message, a thought. And so, what would yours be for today?
Positive word. All right, I'm going to keep it simple. You could get anything you want in life. You literally can. Write it down, come up with a plan, stick to it, and keep believing. I think we throw the word faith around a lot, but having faith in yourself is really the secret sauce to any type of achievement that you want. So have faith in yourself, believe in yourself, and no matter who's saying that it can't be done or trying to minimize your expectations, as long as you believe in yourself, you got the winning formula. But if you don't believe in yourself or if you have that doubt in yourself, you're setting yourself up from failure from the get-go. So I say have faith in yourself, believe in yourself, because you can get whatever you want out of this life. So go for it. Take that risk.
I like it. I mean, I just really, I don't know if people believe in themselves as much as they should, So, like, even you saying that, it sounds simple, but I've confronted people who are great at what they do and they
Mhm.
still question themselves in relation to, are they capable of handling something? And so you being able to kind of iterate that and just give people that level of confidence, I think that's an important factor that more people probably need. All right, so is there anything that you want to tell the people that I haven't asked? Anything? We got a couple minutes left. Anything that's exciting, that's new, that's coming up? Anybody that's joining the team? If you want to tell people, go ahead and invest. I mean, like, anything you want to give the people?
So definitely, if you're interested in investing, if you're interested in partnering with your business, or if you're interested in joining the team, please feel free to contact us on all of our social media handles is Reju app. On Instagram and Twitter is Reju app, no underscores, no spaces. On Facebook is Reju app. And we also have a website, www.therejuapp.com. So please feel free to contact us there. My contact is dwade@therejuapp.com. And on social media, all my handles are either Dante Wade or underscore campaign7. So feel free to contact if you want to join the movement. And I just want to thank you so much for allowing me to share some space with you on this platform. I had a great time on Saturday and I had a great time here as well. So It's been a pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Chisa.
Oh, you are so welcome. And the people gave me a whole bunch of good feedback on Saturday too from the session. So it was like some people were like, "Well, I'm not ready for that," and then some people were like, "Well, I think I want to do it." Right. And so it's that combination, but the idea and the concept of being able to have an app and to be able to express yourself, to be able to reach out to your people, I think that that is an important fact. And I'm glad that you guys have this app. I really love the videos that you have that are on it because I've watched them, and I'm just like, you know what, that's a neat way to do it, right? Like it's really just giving people some foundational things that I think that they need, and it helps to build up your self-esteem. It helps to build up, just what you're going through on a daily basis. So I would definitely tell everybody, check out the Reju app, download it in your app store, and then if you are watching this on a replay, you can always still leave comments, and then you can go ahead. His link and his information will be down there. And if you are listening to it audibly, then he already gave you all the information on where to go. But just type in Reju, Reju app, app, and then you'll be able to find it. But Dante, thank you so much for being on today, and then I'll be in touch with you for some extra other goodies that are coming up in the world. And just make sure you show up and show up. All right, everybody, and continue to give it to the people. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.